All right, welcome everybody to the launch of issue 51 of Borderlands Texas Poetry Review. Woo! Yeah. For those of you who haven't met yet, my name is Allyson Whipple, and I am the director, meaning I get to do all of the spreadsheets. It's super exciting. And I'm so excited for this launch. Our featured poet, Cyrus Cassels, is on a wonderful fellowship and is in Mexico, so he will not be here today, but we do have our managing editor, Faylita Hicks, reading his poems, so that's going to be wonderful. We'll have an art talk with Renee Perez out of San Marcos, who did these amazing prints. Renee does have art for sale. There's paintings, and if paintings are not in your budget, there are magnets and there are stickers. So there's stuff at every price point. We also have two of our journal's poets to read for you today, and I'll introduce them momentarily. And then I thought I might read a poet from, we have poets from all over the country. We have two poets from India in this issue. I think that's amazing. So obviously not all of our poets can be here at the launch, so I thought I would maybe read from someone from out of town to get us started. But as a brief housekeeping note, obviously we have the new issue for sale, and we are so excited about it. Today only, these are $10, and all of the back issues that you see are $5 a piece. And should you want them, you just take them up to the very friendly staff at Malvern Books. They will take your money. This is a wonderful independent space. They host us. They do open mics. They do reading series. They do so much great stuff. So everyone has to buy 5 things to keep stuff like this going, because rent is terrible. I don't know if you knew that, but retail rent is terrible. So. Without further ado, I was like, I've read this issue so many times, and I'm like, no, I want to read that one. No, I want to read that one. No, I want to read that one. Again, since not everyone could be here, I will read, and now I've lost it, of course. I really apologize if I do not pronounce this person's name correctly. I'm going to do my best, but Kunjana Parashar's poem, Coastal Road Project, Mumbai. It starts on page 33. And I will read their bio, since again, we can't read the whole issue, but I thought, well, if you can't make intercontinental travel happen, you should get your poem read here. Kunjana Parashar is a poet living in Mumbai. She holds an MA in English Literature from Mumbai University. Her poems appear or are forthcoming in New City Review, Lammergeier, Kissing Dynamite, The Hellebore, The Rumpus, their Enough series, Camwood Literary Magazine, Rig Welter, and elsewhere. You can find her on Twitter at WolfWasp. Coastal Road Project, Mumbai. A solitary polyp of a coral blooms silently in space. Zoanthids carpet the barks of trees like a fresh field of lichen. Out of the tetrapods, a brush of sea sponge falls like musk roses. Shyly, the barnacles unfurl like onions on chopping boards. In the dream of a Coley fisherwoman, her son tars the road with brittle stars. I just wish all of our poets. If you're watching, thank you for writing this poem and sending it to us. And I wish we could all just travel internationally, and who knows, maybe someday we can have great video readings all over the world. But, for now, I'm going to bring up Sarah Matthes, who's a poet from Central New Jersey. She was a Mishner Fellow at the University of Texas at Austin, where she received the Academy of American Poets Goodrow Prize. Her work has appeared or is forthcoming at the Iowa Review, the Feminist Utopia Project, Yalabusha Review, and Poets.org. She works as the managing editor for Bat City Review, and lives in Austin, Texas. And we're so glad she could be here today.
Hi everybody, I'm Matthes. It's nice to be here. I was just at a reading at Malvern yesterday, so it's really cool that there's so many great events. I'm really grateful for this space, and I'm really grateful to Borderlands for including me. It's really nice. I want to read you a few poems. The first one is the first poem from my forthcoming manuscript called Town Crier. That's the first time I've ever said that, so it's really cool. Thanks. And it's called The Basics. I thought I understood the basics. My body would be put through a series of trials. I understood the water, when broken by a chucked stone, would reassemble itself around the sharp intruder. I would not be so constant. Even when the news of blood reached me, even when the white moon sat in the white cloud of day, I believed in a deep magnetic resolution. The way I believe in the inevitability of separated twins colliding at the market. But then one day, rewarding myself for a month of consistent and vigorous exercise, I took a scenic byway through a nearby mountain, and spotting something in the road ahead, I slowed to discover one chipmunk face deep in a second dead chipmunk, its little mouth trembling in the soft, still fur, and I couldn't find a way around that. I lived for years within that. What kind of mind is unable to recognize the difference between a chipmunk in mourning and a chipmunk having lunch? That's that poem. Do a couple more for you. This one is called Lament for the Living. It's, you know how people write about the dead all the time? I do that, and then sometimes I think maybe they're like, hey, stop it, leave us alone. So this is that poem from them to us, Lament for the Living. We feel them walking over us in their intolerable shoes, knocking down our stone doors. And what would they have us do? Come outside? We will not afternoon among the pigeons who loiter like blanched old men in a sauna, moaning, ah, but meaning to say, shut the door, but meaning, let this day end me. Their dicks lolling across their thighs, gummy and white as gefilte fish. Overwrought? Yes. But this is just one tunnel through the story, and it is not one that leads to some outside that is sweet and green. What if we had known we were in the last 5 years of our lives? What a relief. To look around and say how fine it is, to awaken in the cracked sun, to knock back a berry into our mouths like a large and living pill, to have 2.5 years to eat before our time is reset into a new measure of halfness, and it goes. For years, we split ourselves across the longing of an asymptote, until one day we reach down to wipe and we're putting our hands through a ghost. And then it becomes intolerable, like fruit salad, a grape disguised in the juices of a cantaloupe. We leave behind a dotted line, and all these people, they follow it like a map to heaven, when what we meant was cut here. I'll read 2 more. This next one I'll read is from Borderlands. You can, if you like to follow along, you can. If not, I'll tell you the poem. So it's up to you. It's on page 31. It's called Getting Out of St. Paul, and I've never read it out loud before, so it's kind of fun for me. Hiding in the tall grass on the north side of the tracks, you're trying to pull the burrs out of my hair. It's night. My pack bolsters below my knees. I crane my ear to the east, listening for the hum of shifting steel. Light another, smoke silent and slow. Calm myself by thinking things I know, that there are other people in the world, that the heart is a fingerless glove. I don't want new thoughts, don't want to look beyond the next train. A switchman rolls by in an ancient caboose, laughing at his radio. He knows that there are other people in the world. Slip your glove around me. Across the tracks, I imagine a bull is watching us. He sees 2 lost fireflies. lighting and darkening, rising and falling, and at the arrival of a sweet, low sound in the distance, suddenly going out. And I'll read one more for you. I'll read one more for you. It's called Opening. Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice. I love it here, and I'm really glad to be part of this beautiful issue. Yeah, this is called Opening. Before those other befores, there was a static, a vibrating mind. Jeans slipped on hot and fresh from the dryer, full of surprising thorns. Then a long, clean pour, and that was you. Water cohering its bouncing molecules into a ribbon. Eyes stunned into a pool. Someone grabs my hand in the parking lot and then apologizes. They thought I was someone else. How close I was to being the one they were looking for. My cheek like the atmosphere of the cheek they crave. How sad to mistake the one you love for someone else, for the one you love to be mistakable. I keep that touch like the memory of other others and other lovers I had before you. All those others, all those bodies, I tell you, they did not know me either. They too thought I was someone else. And to be mistaken, it takes from me. I have been folded and I have been ripped, but for you I open as a paper star. Thanks so much, y'all.